Howdy folks. This goes with writing equations, which is 2.4, but this is going to be just kind of a condensed chart that you can find everything in, because when you're going to write an equation in an mx plus b form, you need two things. You need m and you need b. So there are four ways that you're going to find the slope. One is the way that almost never happens in honors math. That's when it's given. They're going to straight up say slope is 2. Highly unlikely that's going to happen, but it'll happen occasionally. Then a second way is you're going to be given 2 points, and so you'll find the slope using the formula, which by now we should be pretty good at. So that's the second way. The third way is that you're going to read in the question that it is parallel to. That's not what I meant to write. Let's try that again. Parallel to ... So if it says it's parallel to, and then it gives you a line, for example, it says it's parallel to y equals 3x plus smiley face. I don't care about this part. I only need this part. And then I think parallel means that it's the same slope. So I'll go ahead and use my m equal to 3. So that would probably give you a hint as to the fourth way, which is it might say that it's perpendicular to something. In the same way, if I use that example and it said it's perpendicular to y equals 3x plus frowny face, I don't care about the frowny face. I only care about this, but I'm going to use the opposite reciprocal. So I'm going to go ahead and use m equals -1 over 3. So when I'm looking at my problem, I'm always trying to decide, are they telling me the slope in this way, this way, this way, or this way? Now, given might also look like a graph where you have to count it out, but whether they just straight up tell it to you or show it to you on a graph, you can count and find your slope that way. So that's a lot of ways to find slope, but the nice thing is these all funnel into really just one way to find the b value after that. So when you get to this point, either they're going to straight up tell you, so I guess there's technically two ways. It could be given. They're going to show you on a graph or tell you that it crosses at b, or, and then this method works for all the other ways you found slope, because at the other ways, you'll know the slope through one of these four methods over on the left, and you'll have a point. You'll have a point that's on the line. So for example, they'll tell you this x1, y1 is on the line, and then you'll have found the slope in one of these four ways. So you'll set it up as y equals mx plus b. You'll put the slope that you know right in here, and you'll put the x and the y that you know into these two values. So this will be the only unknown, and that will allow you to solve for b. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say that I know the slope is 2, and I know, but I don't know the y value, the y-intercept, and then I know that it goes through, I don't know, -1, 3. Those two things I know. And it doesn't matter how I found the slope, but now I know the slope and 1 point. So think about what each thing is. Obviously, the slope is the slope, and this is an x and this is a y. So start with your equation every single time and put the y in for y, the m in for m, the x in for x, and the only thing you won't know is the b value. So then you're just going to solve for b, which should usually be a pretty easy mathematical process. So b is 5. Don't forget what you're trying to do. You're trying to write a y equals mx plus b equation. So you would use the m and the b, and your equation for the line that has a slope of 2 and goes through this point is going to be 2, because that's my slope value, x, and then plus 5, because that's the b value that I found. So this is just kind of a condensed place to find what you're doing, and whether you find your slope in any of these four ways, this method right here will always work to help you then find the b value. So you'll know your slope from this column, and then you'll know your y-intercept